it's refreshing to hear Mr. Fernandez talk about following our Constitution, especially because the media and the Democrats, all the Democrats, like to paint all Hispanics or Latinos with a broad brush. So thank you very much. I'm going to be looking to you, Mr. Fernandez, for some help. Kelly, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Sweetheart, for inviting me here today. And Jeff back there, thank you. Dan, thank you so much. This is a great opportunity to be around Patriots. I'm going to let you know a little bit about what we are doing and tell you why. Jeff, go ahead and let's go to the banners. This is what we call the Stone Lights Quilt banner. This is how we memorialize Americans, and we take these banners to town hall meetings, city council meetings, rallies, everywhere. And I'll tell you, go ahead, let's go to the third, I won't do it, okay. What we were going to show you was these banners. And I was going to tell you some of the tragedies and the reason why we got started in this. And know that this problem is nationwide, and we don't hear about it. That's why my husband and I, Tim, made these Stolen Lights Quilt banners in order to connect the dots for you, for legislators. If something happens in Dallas, if an illegal alien kills an American in Dallas, does Arlington hear about it? No. Same thing in here you go. This young lady, we'll go through them quickly. This young lady, Sherry, was stabbed to death in her own apartment, and the illegal alien just walked into her apartment and stabbed her over 20 times, set her body on fire. And the officer here in the middle, he pulled over, Tony Zapatella pulled over an illegal alien, walked up to the side of the driver door, and he was shot. He was not only shot in the head, but also the illegal alien pulled his sidearm and unloaded it in his body. This one, I'll just keep going. This one is known as the Newark Schoolyard Massacre. 4 young Afro-American students hanging out of the schoolyard were jumped by a gang. 2 of the young ladies were raped, and they were all executed and macheted. 1 young lady survived. She testified against all 6 of them. Go ahead, Jeff. So again, this is everywhere. Nothing. Okay. And we had also the Cottonwood 4. 4 children riding on a school bus. You know, you let your children go to school. You put them on the school bus. They're going to be safe. You think they're going to get there. It didn't happen. An illegal alien driver ran into the bus, killing 4. 2 of them were brothers. And here, Sister Helen Chaska. 2 nuns were walking, just doing their daily walk and saying the rosary, an illegal alien riding a bike, beat both of them up, raped them, and choked Sister Helen Chaska with her own rosary beads. The coroner had to pull them out with tweezers. Yeah. And the Clodfelder, the officer there, he was a good Samaritan as well. He pulled someone over. He was going to give they were intoxicated. He was going to give the 2 buddies of this intoxicated illegal alien man a ride home. They shot him. And this one is, now see, you notice on the corners, they have different flags. Those are the state flags. So this one here is Washington. A young man here closest to me, Devin Tops, he was shot at a birthday party, shot in the back. The young lady in the middle, just kidnapped from her front yard playing with her siblings by the pedophile, killed her. And is that Sherry? That's Rebecca. She was killed by her illegal alien ex-boyfriend who shot her. She had a restraining order on him as well. So you see, we have enough crime that Americans commit, and these are all over this country. I have a roll back here behind me that I will pull out, and that has names in 12 fonts. And the list is about, I would say, at least 15 feet long. And these are the things you don't hear about. And unless I come here and tell personally people what is taking place, every now and then we do get a little piece in the, in the newspaper, or a little news clip, and that's it. But people think it's only once or twice. We made this one for Mother's Day. Look at these mothers. And these are all over, mainly Texas. But these are the good Americans, the children who are being raised without their mothers and fathers. We also made a Stone Lives quilt banner for children. And you hear a lot about the other side. They can't separate the families. Well, all of our families here are permanently separated from their families. Not just across the border, because they can go back. Here's the children, remembering our children. What about their dreams? Our fathers, we made another banner for Father's Day. And the 6 fathers that we used, there were 18 children affected. 18 children affected because our legislators refused to uphold current laws, refused to place our American families first. Yeah. And more. Robert Krantz. Who has heard about Robert Krantz over here, the rancher in the middle from Arizona? So a few of us have, and he is, other than the Brian Terry murder, this man is probably, I would say, the second most well-known, and still not many people know about it. All the people that I mentioned there, no one knows about it. And the Ranger Egley here, closest to me, his mom has been fighting for over 10 years, and we're in a worse situation right now. She did the same thing that we've done. Invited up to Washington, D.C. to speak with the legislators. Boy, we're going to really do something, they told her. Nothing has been done. It's worse. It is worse. So this is why the Stone Lives quilts were made. The Remembrance Project was created. And these are Texas. Right here, the young lady in the middle is Danny Countryman. She was killed. She's from Kaufman. She was killed in Oregon. She visited her sister when she graduated from Oregon State. And the young lady here in the blonde was killed a year and a half ago in San Antonio. She was jogging in the park and she was stabbed to death by an illegal alien. He had already been in jail and he was released. And he was bragging about killing this young lady. And Jocelyn Gardner, her cousin, is a Texas border volunteer. She was from Houston and ran track in Tennessee State, killed by an illegal alien drunk driver. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. So what have we done? I want to leave plenty of time for questions and all as well. Almost 3 years ago, my husband and I took our little dog, about 7-pound dog, on a ride. We went to 25 states with the Stone Lives quilt banners. And we went into the state offices and spoke to the governor's aides. We did speak with Governor Scott. It didn't do any good. Right. And Democrat offices, Republican offices, it doesn't matter. This isn't a political issue. This is an American issue. Mm-hmm. Then after our 25-state tour, we did speak with other activists, which was awesome. They were so energized with us being there. And being from Texas, y'all don't realize this, or maybe you do, but it carries a lot of weight. But also, there's a lot of responsibility in it. They expect us to pull the load. Mm-hmm. And they're hiding behind us. I'm telling them, I will help you. Please keep fighting, because that's what we have to do. And here we are. They don't know about Joe Strauss. They can't believe Texas would even have a problem like that. So after our tour, we did meet several key people, and that's how we came about with having our state directors. We were invited to have a press conference. We were fighting the Gang of Eight bill, S744, remember that? Mm-hmm. And we had through Tea Party Patriots invited us, and we brought family members up there with Jeff Sessions, Mike Lee, Inhofe, and Vitter, strong legislators, conservatives. And during that press conference, George Wilkerson said something that was very powerful, and we continue to talk about it today because his testimony, his son, and I'll tell you what happened to his son in just a minute. Not what happened, the tragedy that our government allowed to take place. Mr. Wilkerson's testimony was, he said to the legislators now who were supporting S 744, he said, go home and gather your children and select which one you would sacrifice, because I have made that sacrifice for someone else to have a better life. Mr. and Mrs. Wilkerson from Pearland, Texas, their youngest son Joshua gave a ride home to an acquaintance of his, a classmate of his. He was a good boy, good Christian, caring young man. That's how his parents raised him. Mom and Dad had a small business, and Mom would get off early and make sure she was home with the children, so she knew when 1:30 came that Josh, she had not heard from her youngest child. So she started calling him. Well, unbeknownst to her, Joshua was punched in the face, kicked in the stomach so hard that his liver split in two. He was hit over the head with a closet rod that it broke 4 times, terribly mangling his face. He was strangled, tied up, and I attended most of the trial, and I can still see those photos, and I know Mr. and Mrs. Wilkerson and his siblings do too. Tied in these knots, this thick, hands, good, and ankles, tossed in his own truck, and his own money used to buy gas, and the illegal alien drove him to a field and doused him in gasoline and set him on fire. And he tortured Josh. A coroner said he was torturing and choking him. We would release him and let him go and choke him and release him. And the man, 18-year-old Hermelio Morales, was in front of a judge 10 days before he killed Joshua. So, again, if our laws were upheld, he would not have had access to Joshua. And Laura says that she will forever wonder if Joshua heard her calling him while he was being tortured. His phone was in the bag. This is the families that they have. They don't want to think about this anymore, but they pull themselves up. They take breaks. Now, it's not easy for them. They stand up and rise up to the occasion when they're needed. Laura has testified a couple times and gone with me to Virginia and Ohio and Washington, D.C. several times. So it takes them a while to regroup. But the reason, and every family member who we deal with and work with, I didn't say deal with, but we work with all across the country, every one of them says, I do this so that my child or my husband or wife didn't die in vain, but also to save yours, everyone else's out here. Even the legislators who don't legislate for American families. So that's why they're out there. Quickly, and after the press conference, we have also personally met with United States Secretary of Homeland Security, Jay Johnson. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I feel the word that keeps appearing in my head all the time that we use is, and how we work by, is urgency. After meeting with him and giving him a letter demanding, nicely but stern, now I'm not going to be, rude, but we are at a point that where a little civil disobedience is good. Mm-hmm. Thank you. So I read it to him, I signed it, slid it over to him, and asked him a question that a mother whose daughter was stabbed over 39 times and the illegal alien is still free to this day, free to marry and raise 2 daughters of his own. Why a treaty with Venezuela is not used to bring that killer to justice. And his response was, "I am not here to be interrogated by you." So, right.
Oh, wow.
He did not shake my hand when we left. That is fine, because we have a responsibility to our families. It could be any one of us. And who cares if they are the United States Secretary of Homeland Security? He needs to be fired. He's not doing his job. The sole purpose of his department is to secure the homeland. Shame on him. With the Brian Terry family, border agent who was killed over the Fast and Furious debacle, and they came into that meeting with us, and we went into the meeting with them with Eric Holder. Scary. Yes, very scary, and again, urgency, because these guys are not going to do one thing, and you know that they're working against us. You know that, so I don't have to go into that with you. Now, I want to leave time for questions, but know that right now what we're doing, so you have a little bit of idea that we have met with some top legislators, Goodlatte, Gowdy. We refused to support his SAFE Act because there was something in there that he was negotiating with non-citizens. No, that is not at all where we want to be. If there is any paragraph whatsoever that accommodates illegal aliens, that's not where we need to be.
Bingo.
And just to clarify, if anyone has doubts, Maria, why didn't you support Gowdy? Like, well, because he's not supporting us. That's how I feel. And I look at it this way. Most of us have children. If you allow your child to break house rules, what message is that sending? Then your rules don't matter. And that's what we're looking at right now with illegal aliens. We have a front door. Use it.
Yep.
And please stand strong. There's a lot of race baiting going on, and in order to answer that, the Remembrance Project has a new initiative called America First Latinos. We just started that about a month ago. I'm not into hyphenation. I don't think of myself as Latino, Hispanic, and those words, I didn't know those words growing up. They didn't exist. But at this time in our country, we are going to set us apart for right now, temporarily, to get in that race ring, to beat back those bad Latinos, those ones who are hateful, and they themselves are bigots. And yes, I said that. They themselves are bigots.
Yeah.
So look for us. We're looking to have a press conference. We had an interview a month and a half ago or so, and my goodness, it went and made drudge.
Wonderful.
Our website was going crazy. We got hits, we got sign-ups, so it looks like it's something that a lot of other Hispanics want this to take place, want to be heard, want the truth out. We're all Americans, period. That's it.
Two things. Number one, I heard a story quite shortly after the 2014 state convention where you single-handedly stopped some nefarious activity at a certain bridge at our border with you
right.
and a truck.
Well,
or something like that. I want you to tell that story.
Something like
and
that,
then number
right.
two, tell about the lawsuit.
Yes, wonderful. So what Kelly is talking about, this summer we invited Speaker Boehner to the border, and we had a family. We had it set up where he could speak with the family, the Wilkersons, and in Falfurrias is the Texas Border Volunteers and the Vickers Ranch out there. I'm also a Texas Border Volunteer. So we had all this set up for him. Even made room accommodations for him and his children and his grandchildren.
Wow.
Because if it's good enough for us, it's good enough for them, right? So we got a call, and they said, hey, we are, a group was going to close down the international, two of the international bridges in Brownsville. Okay, we're on board. So like, why not? We have some free time. We have all these Stone Lights quilt banners, and the family, Mr. and Mrs. Wilkerson, were, yes, let's do it. to prove a point. Civil disobedience.
That's my kind of civil disobedience.
Yeah, civil disobedience it was. So, we had a rally, we went over to the location, and my husband and I, well, I got out of the truck. Now the bridges, and I've never been there before, it's like a roundabout. And there are two bridges between Brownsville and Mexico. So there's traffic going this way, and this lane here, this traffic's coming this way. So, to and from. Well, my husband parks the truck right on the bridge. And this was the whole plan, is to go ahead and send a message to Mexico. Send a message to America as well. If you are not going to take care of this problem with Mexico, then we are. We're going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty scary situation, because the other group, and I know you guys would not do this.
No.
The other group that we were with pulled back. So what happened was all the 6, 8 officers came over to where we were, and there was a border agent and who was pretty aggressive coming toward my husband, and so I kind of ran over there. But well, this if y'all have been out there on the roads, and you know when you having a little civil disobedience going on, you could go to jail. They were threatening to tow our truck. So I told my husband, let me handle this first of all. I'm female, I'm petite, maybe we'll have some sympathy. But you know what? I could not move and give up that little piece of real estate, even though I was blocking, we were gone.
Yeah.
I looked across the way where the other people had pulled back, and Mr. and Mrs. Wilkerson were there. It's hard. One of them was holding their individual Stone Lights quilt banner for their son.
Oh.
And the other one was holding Agent Javier Vega's banner, who had just been murdered just north of there, of Brownsville. No way was I giving up that piece of real estate.
Amen.
No.
Amen.
So the officers threatened to tow our truck. They threatened to put me in jail, to arrest me. So I asked them, will you just wait so my husband can come back? I need him to video this. So that is what Kelly was talking about. A little civil disobedience, and you have to be there. There's videos after, short videos. I would say be very careful when we do this. But our officers, they have a duty to do. However, why is it that Americans have to follow our laws and non-citizens get away with it?
Exactly.
They're not subject to the jurisdiction. They're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, which is in the 14th Amendment.
They have, and remember this, they have human rights, not civil rights.
Bingo.
We gave it to them.
Obama gave it to them.
Not us.
Yes, but the public is willing to go ahead and say, oh, they're civil rights. No, they don't have civil rights. And it wasn't like that before. Okay, yeah, so, that's what we're going to have to do. We are going to have to force their hand, if we have to stand in front of their homes so that their family and their neighbors can see what rascals they are. That's the only thing that's going to move them. We've done everything else. We've talked to these legislators till we're blue. They don't care. And we have a tape actually that one lady in California, I was just in California Tuesday testifying and helping them out. There are some little wins that California has had. A mother, and I'll share this because we haven't put it out yet. We're waiting for the appeal deadline to pass. But she won over, let's say, $800,000 because she sued the employer. That's what we're going to have to do. We're not a litigious, we're not for that. However, that's the only thing they're going to listen to. Also, in California, and I went to the hearing when this took place, the illegal alien who killed her son got 3 years probation. Unsupervised probation. He ran over him. And he shouldn't have been licensed, and that's why, and he had been in trouble before. He asked for early release. Well, we heard that. Mom let us know. I heard about it from the state director. So we had a little campaign, phoning and emailing and letters. And we got a hold of the ADA and talked to him for a little while. Asked him, think outside the box. When that illegal alien asked to be released, file for restitution. Do a counter. And he did. The third time their group went up there, finally the judge said yes. And so she won over $90,000 in restitution. And the young lady who was on the motorcycle, she survived, got also like $18,000 or so. But will they collect? We don't know. But guess what? It sends a message. Yes. It sends a strong message. And yes.
What can we do as a city and as a county to fight this immigration problem?
Okay. That's, it is about marketing. It's packaging your message as well. And that's why America First Latinos, we're going to have them be the point on that arrow. So, and there is a difference because when I was up in California even, and I mentioned America First Latinos and I'm Maria Espinoza, they were interested. I would say we're asking for the elementary, the basics here. Uphold current laws and follow our U.S. Constitution. We're not asking for anything special or committees or anything like that. And we're going to have to press them. A little civil disobedience. We have to.
You have to. You have to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the only presidential candidate we had that could really do something about this had to withdraw. But Dennis Michael Lynch.
Oh, yeah. Who was it? Dennis Michael Lynch.
Yeah. But it's not just illegal immigration we got a problem with. It's immigration in total.
Yes.
It's threatening what we are as Americans. And I'm almost done reading a book that I'd recommend if somebody wants to, if you really want to get educated on how it's changing what it means to be an American. A book called Who Are We? The Challenge to American National Identity by Samuel Huntington.
I did that.
It will make you mad as a horse.
Let's not bite off more than we can chew right now.
Yeah.
Because we have my opinion, we have a stronger message when we say we just want our current laws to be upheld. That's it. Now, then what I've seen, what happens when you bring something about like that up, oh goodness, you are a racist. So let's just say, uphold current laws and follow our U.S. Constitution. How basic can you get? Our backs are up against the wall right now.
Yeah.
Article 1, Section 2, Clause 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we see everybody talking, but we're not seeing, you're saying Latinos, but we're not seeing any of them show up.
Exactly.
It's like the African Americans. They're not all for it, but nobody's showing up. The Muslims are not all for it, but nobody's showing up. You're seeing crowds just like us.
Right. No. Yes. Exactly.
And then we look like we're racist because there's not any blacks, there's not any Latinos, there's not any Muslims. So we look like we're the racists.
Right. And let's go here first. No matter what, don't even respond to all those lies. You get out there and you stand for what you know is right. We are trying to get the Latinos out. For myself, I don't think of myself any different than anyone else here. So I've had to kind of step back and take a look and wonder and figure out why are not so many Latinos out there. So I've been talking with them. So first ones, the easy ones that I'm going after are the ones like Dan, who are already on board and already active. Then we've got friends and family, and we're going to start chiseling away. And again, I am encouraged by the response that we received from this one little interview, and it went viral. I just can't, I'm dumbfounded. It just sort of happened. The answer is, you have to let someone with the Hispanic surname make the moves for the most part. If you don't know anyone personally who is Hispanic, it's going to be, I see that it's a little bit difficult to get them on board, and I have black friends, and they agree, they're right on board, but can I get them out here to show up?
It's hard to do that.
They quietly talk about it, but their pastors own them.
We got to fix that. Oh,
well, we have right on our side, and we keep doing it, and it has worked. Yes, Linda, let me get Linda in the back.
I want to say, most of us as Americans do not know about Texas history, the real history of Texas. And every year we celebrate, as a state, Tejano Heritage Month in September. We need to get informed on that. David Barton has an incredible, I used to teach a class on that. And if we as the white Americans, if you want to say that, Texans, would get informed on that, then we can talk intelligent and tell the Hispanics the incredible heritage that they have. If they have the incredible heritage, they ask us to come and defend against their radical federal government. And then it's posed towards the people. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be of the Tejano heritage, which is an incredible heritage?
Now, I will say this, and it might be different from what you think, Dan, but they have to come on their own. You have to get someone, another Hispanic, to do that. They're not going to, what I have seen, they're not just going to say, oh, thank you for educating me, I'm on board. They're not going to do that. And I don't know if it's, I'm not sure why that is. If I knew, I think I would have already tried to address it. But, I just talk about, look, we don't want to be someone else speaking for us, and we don't want them to give us a bad name. That seems to resonate with them. Yes, ma'am.
A couple things. I ran for office for Justice of the Peace back in 2010 and 2014. And part of my area was very Hispanic, north side of Fort Worth. And I was just thinking we could kind of kill two birds with one stone if we get people to help go out and talk to Hispanics, because that helped me get in there, plus help the issue that we're talking about. Because I don't care what somebody looks like, I do care about justice and truth.
But what was your question?
Well, no, we're banding together. I mean, there's a common cause right there.
Well, we have many common causes, but there's a reason why they're not coming over. And I think that if they don't see someone like Espinoza or Fernandez there, and not just wanting something out of them. And I don't know how to really put that together because I don't understand it. I don't think that way, but it seems like the more we talk to them, Hispanics, because they're like everybody else, but the more we talk and be around them,
right, going out
the more I can build a relationship with them. But it's not that easy. You have to have a rapport with them.
Okay, your banner, you were showing them on the screen. How many Latinos did you see up there? There were a few blacks, but the rest of them were white. You need banners that show.
Oh, there are. We have them. Yes.
Your families
That's
are
true.
big.
Oh, we do that.
Your family.
Exactly.
Muslims, your family.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Felicia Ruiz. We have Shatavia Anderson. Depending on where we go, we do take those banners. So they can kind of. This one was the only Texas one I had. I grabbed the wrong bag. Grabbed North Carolina, Iowa, and New York. Yes, sir, in the blue shirt.
Yes, congratulations on all. You're doing wonderful work, I think, and especially America First Latino. Sounds like it's a great opportunity to build and do some of the things that you're talking about. My question is, do you have any, U.S. legislators that are really supporters of yours?
Yes.
Do you have anybody that you can work with that can help you as a mouthpiece?
And that
to
we
the
can
word
get
out there?
behind.
And also, how does Joe Barton measure up? Because that's something.
Oh, Lord.
That's something we can work on a little bit here for you.
I'm not really sure, but
And nobody is.
The Remembrance Project is a little, the way we're from Texas, in Houston, and when my husband and I first started, we thought we were the only ones out here. We weren't involved, and there are certain things, and I have to say, over several years back, 15 years back, I remember, even forward, that things weren't just right. And you're looking at a former Democrat. Mom and Dad were big Kennedy supporters.
There you go.
So now I don't have a party. Now I find myself to the right of the Republican Party. And
Kind of feels good.
why? Because I want current laws of health. I want America to stay America. I want to be able to have my small business that I put on hold. And my husband and I decided, it's a decision we made because we really feel that we're going to lose our country. And I put my little business on hold and said, this is what I'm going to do. I do this full time, Saturday and Sundays. And we don't draw a salary. I don't. Thank you.
It's fall.
Yes, please. Yeah, that's something I'm afraid I'm going to touch it. So we do work with legislators, U.S. legislators all around.
But you have any that are really connected with
on
it.
the federal level, Jeff Sessions from Alabama is wonderful. Mike Lee, Utah. The ones I mentioned, Vitter and Inhofe. And Congressman Steve King out of Iowa. And Mo Brooks.
But you don't have any from Texas?
Louis Gohmert.
Louis Gohmert, there you go. All right.
Have you
Louis
tried to get
Gohmert.
on the Hannity show?
Pardon?
Oh my
Have you tried
God,
to get
yeah.
on the Hannity
We have, and we've tried all of that. We're trying. Also, before I forget, Kelly mentioned the Texas lawsuit. I'm so excited that our families will finally have a national platform for their voices to be heard, because just as of Monday, the Remembrance Project joined the Texas lawsuit and the 25 other states against the Obama administration.
Yeah.
Last month I went to New Orleans and was able to witness the oral arguments there too.
Awesome.
So that was wonderful. We've been trying really hard to try to get some sort of lawsuit going. So we're excited. Yes.
Awesome.
Question?
Well, I was just going to suggest, Hannity has a program on the radio where you call in.
Oh, good luck with that.
Well,
Hard to
but
do.
that's
Yeah, we have been
You
on.
have enough people calling in.
Yeah,
for you?
wonderful. Yeah, please do. Laura Ingram, we've been on there. We've been on Andrew Tanteros. We run Newsmax.
Or Megan Kelly.
Some of our people, not Megan, I'm
No?
not sure. She'll have Dennis on.
Okay.
And we know Dennis. But we also have set up, Jamil Shaw, his son was on one of the banners, and he was from LA. He's the one who testified a couple months ago in front of the Judiciary Committee where he said his son had his hands up. Okay, well, so he was on Bill O'Reilly as well. So he just forgot to say the Remembrance Project.
Oh, bummer.
Okay.
Very good.
Good. Oh, okay. One more question, or we're done? One more.
Did we have any bills before the Texas State Legislature this session dealing with this?
Yes, there are several, but real fast.
And what happened to those bills?
We are trying. We have testified, and families have gone up to testify in support of SB 185 to remove sanctuary city policies in Texas.
And it's died
Also in
committee.
February, I met and 5 other people met with Governor Abbott, and out of that meeting came SB 1252, which is known as the Border Security Interstate Compact. That means if Texas passes it, it will go straight to the U.S. Congress for a vote. Then that Border Security Compact will become federal law. So it does not have to even go to the executive branch whatsoever. It will be federal law, and we can secure our border.
Nice.
And enforce immigration law. It's SB 1252.
1252.
We testified on that one.
Those bills made it to committee or had a hearing?
1252 is out of the Senate, and SB 185 has not been heard on the Senate yet.
It's got till midnight tonight.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well,
Wait, in the
haven't
House or
checked.
the Senate?
The Senate. It's on the Senate side. It hasn't started on the House side, so
Both sides.
that's why we have to really pressure these legislators.
I was told anything that's not heard by midnight tonight.
In the House.
If
In the House.
it's a House originated bill, if it had not been heard by midnight tonight.
No, it's originating the Senate.
If it's
They have a little
passed,
longer.
has it passed the Senate?
1252 has.
Okay, then it's gone over to the House, that, there'll be a conference committee that'll have to decide on that.
Yeah, they did have a meeting, and then there is a driver's license that Cook put in. It's HB 4063, I believe. He's trying to give driver permits to illegal aliens, and we have to stop that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If somebody kills him, you need to be in front of their house.
Well, we need to be in front of their house now.
Yeah.
I know, but I agree with what you're saying. This is going to take civil disobedience is what this is going to take.
We have to. And maybe we need a slush fund to get us out of jail. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless
Hey, well done, man.
Y'all want to see this long list? 15 feet. Ready?
We can tell just by looking at how much.
you. Yeah, go straight.
Now, Kelly, we can see how long it is just by how things are rolling.
Yeah.
This gives you an idea, and it just keeps going and going and going. And you should see the font. It's very, very small.
I can read it without. I can see
Do you have a business card?
I do, yes ma'am, it's right back here at this table.
You got a stack of them on the table.
And we're always looking for volunteers, certainly, and it goes from trying to schedule. I mean, I'm not only in Texas, but I've been to California twice. We've got a lot going on over there. And we want to be able to pressure. Oh, Kelly, one more thing. Go ahead. No, all across the country, there is an office is trying to be created in their Attorney General's offices called Office for the New Americans.
Oh.
Now, Lucio here in Texas has filed 2 bills like that. And the America First Latinos, what we have done is we sent out an open letter last month to all the governors in the United States, asking them to create a program for citizens of illegal alien crimes. That is to offset what these guys are doing. We certainly cannot do this, by state and by legislator. So that's the response, the conservative response to the New Americans office. And Michigan has already already implemented that a couple years ago. So it's all a whole new program for illegal aliens and refugees.
Don't you see that Obama?
Yes, she is.
I want to just say one thing. First of all, thank you so much for coming here tonight. You are very coming to across the state and the country. And I just want to kind of give a little bit of a story about how I met her. And that's how I know about her. It's because before the 2014 state convention, the GOP state convention, everything was leading up to this, we got to beat the Texas Solution platform of the GOP, Texas Solution plank of the immigration platform.
Which did get stopped.
I'm sorry?
Which did get stopped.
Yes, we did get it stopped with people like Maria and people like, there were countless people that were working behind the scenes. But that's where I met Maria, and she is a force to be reckoned with.
Good.
So thank you so much.
Did anybody get the open letter from Norm Adams to TFR today in support of the illegal driver's licenses?
Our buddy Norm has raised his ugly head again.
Yes, he did. He's
Get out of town.
Pro-illegal alien license.
We got us some more work to do, doesn't it? It does seem
I'll
that
forward
way.
it to you.
Thank you very much. It seems Norm Adams, who was our nemesis during that convention, and they spent a lot of money trying to get the Texas solution to stay in the platform when they snuck it onto the platform 2 years prior at the 2012 convention, and I never forgot that. And then when the 2014 came, I was like, I'm going to be a state delegate, and I'm going to get up there and I'm going to fight, and we're not going to leave until that thing is dead in the water, and it was, and we won. It was a godly thing, I swear. It was godly. But we won thanks to people like Maria and other people across the state, and it was just a glorious moment that I'm glad to be a part of. So I want to thank y'all for coming out. And Dan, did you want to say anything else? That's all I wanted to talk about was a little more about Maria.
I want to thank everybody for coming. We're going to meet next month, same time, same station. I expect we're going to have a state legislator or two that's going to come back and tell us what they did or didn't get done, or what we got to be mad about for next time. With that, God bless all. Safe trip home.
Amen.